the Captain's Log, Stardate 7/11/2024. My name is Danjevin. The sourpuss on the screen here is Toral, son of Duras. And today we're going to just kind of get caught up. It's a casual day. We talked about some really big things at the top of the week. It's been a great week for those who like to minimax and just get more for their time and their money in the game. So we're going to see the status of where my game is at. Just a couple of small techniques that I'm using, a little bit of news that we have. And we'll get to that in just a moment, but now let's talk about this purple event threshold reward that we're going to be earning in next week's faction events. Full faction, so we're only going to get 3 copies of Toral. So we're going to have to figure out what to do with that final star on him. Let's see, first off we've got a command sec crew, so fair for an early game player to throw on some shuttles here. Engineering kicker. It's going to be tough for an early game player to find that citation, and it'll be a year before he enters the portal. Eng kicker, so is there voyage potential on this crew? Probably not. By the time any early game player gets his final star on this, maybe a year from now, maybe more, with a bloated purple pool after he hits the portal and you start pulling in purples from voyages. I think that we need to really look at what the value would be in the immediate term for a mid to end game player. This is really going to kind of be dead weight for any early game player. Let's take a look at the collections here. So this crew starts off with 3 collections, including the new Eventful. They're really pushing that. So 3 collections is fair, but is kind of on par for what we've been seeing lately. So it's going to be difficult unless I'm really close on any of these thresholds to really say, hey, I'm going to spend that purple citation I've been saving up on this. Ship ability, it does have a boarding trigger, so if we're looking to staff out purple ships for the arena, it's the ISS, I think the ISS Avenger is the big star ship for that. It does have a boarding trigger on it, but really all that's irrelevant because Vindictive Mariner exists, and so if you're going to be running any sort of optimized ship battle crew, the 250% damage crew is just not going to be strong enough for that sort of attack. So I just don't think I see really very much utility apart from the collections here. So I guess we'll take a look at the big book here just to kind of see if there's anything I'm missing. And sure enough, yeah, tier 4, we got top 50 Voyager, around top 50 ship and shuttle. But again, it's just, it's a purple. You got to figure out what to do with them. You're not going to be opening recap packs. It's just a kind of a one-off event card. This is awkward. It's tough, and it's going to eat up roster space. Toral, I hate to say it, you're going to sit around in my roster too. I just really have no reason right now to cite you unless, that ruthless aggression gets 1 point away from the next threshold, and then you might earn a cite. So I want to go back to the game though, and I want to talk about all the different objective events we've had. So we just finished up critical chronotons. We have the resort fling event right now. One of the big opportunities this week was to basically complete resort fling 100% by today, and that's exactly what I've been able to do. So the holiday Vosh we talked about before, not a particularly strong crew to earn your citation on, but one of the easiest crew that we've ever had to get 4 to 5 stars on without really stretching. The shuttle missions for Federation, we had the tank shuttles that we could run all week this week. Leveling up stars from Next Generation, just pick one. And then the 125 ship battles, well, I did all my skirmish pre-farming this morning. So I'm done with that and easily hit all of my missions for that. So let's see if I have roster space to pull her out of the shop. One bit of mini-maxing I'll share with you now is I don't like to pick up a crew unless I'm ready to finish her, or at least get all the work done I intend to. So here, I don't actually have Holiday Vosh pulled yet. I've left her in the shop. I mean, it's tempting. You got a free crew right here. You want to pull her and get her in your roster, but look, we got 25 days on that. So in the meantime, I need that space to juggle my crew. I run Fleet Boss battle nodes, so I'm constantly rotating crew in and out. So I need to wait until I'm ready to take action. So technically with Holiday Vosh, I could let this ride for the entire month. I don't have to pull her other copies out, but hey, what's the fun in that? So let's go ahead and claim her now. We're going to get our first copy. We're going to head over to the objective event. And let's start pulling these copies out. And now we've got some fusion objectives here, so let's fuse her up. When you're doing these events, you don't have to do the level Holiday Vosh until the very end. It's really important, I think, to do all the other objectives first. because they drop other equipment that if you pull your Vosh and then you start to level her for this very last one, you may be getting these outfits earlier, but you're going to be missing all the other equipment. So in this case with the fusion, we got these weird champagne looking things, the wine glasses. I don't know, I really honestly don't know what they take to construct. I haven't even begun the build yet, but I'm willing to wager that I've saved quite a few components by just getting these free ones here. And then also I don't get that inventory squeeze where I've got wasted items that I have to replicate to get out of my inventory. All of our inventories are squeezed right now. Mine's always like perpetually close to 1,000. It's giving me the warning sign that I gotta replicate stuff, otherwise it's gonna get randomly deleted. So yeah, just make sure that you do your level the main event crew last, and you're good to go. Let's go ahead and do that now. I'm going to level and I'm going to speed up the film again for you. Okay, so that's level 100. We've got, we took a few pauses there, so one thing that didn't show up on the fast forward there was whenever we reach those thresholds that would get us to our next event reward here. So in the case of the level Holiday Vosh, when I reached level 60 and then level 90, I would pause and come in here, and level 30 also I would pause and come here and pull out the equipment so I wouldn't have to build it. Another few notes on building equipment that you may or may not know. We'll take a look here at this last one, Zero Gravity Training. So this is one that has a couple of items that you'll want to slow build. So the quick build seems pretty quick, and it'll charge you for all the components, but you can usually slide by with a little bit of a cheaper discount. So in this case, Phaser Type 2, one thing I noticed is that it has us building 2 copies of the exact same item here. Whenever you see that while you're building, you build one time, and then you go back in and look, you still have 1 copy left. So that's every single time you see the duplicates like that within the build, you're always going to be able to get that benefit. We'll show you again here with these hover balls here. So I'm going to build 2 hover balls. We're going to pass them up here, and then this final one here. And at each of those levels, that was 3 different levels where we got duplicate hover balls. So that would have been 2, 4, 8. That would have cost us 8 total hover balls. But look, each level we have 1 remaining here. Same thing happens with science experiments. There's a lot of items that will do this. So just make sure you're slow building each one of those. There's another rarer bug that will happen. I don't think I have an example here. But if you ever have a build that requires 2 of the exact same equipment on a stack, or more, sometimes they can be even 3 or 4 in a single stack, and it only works for equipment, not components. If you slow build those, sometimes it won't consume them all, so you'll be able to have some left over for the next time as well. So here now, there's no more savings to be had, there's no more duplicate items or equipment that are in stacks, so we can just quick build the rest of it without fear. It's not going to overcharge us for those components. And now she's done. So I've decided not to put the star on her. She'll hang around. She's going to give me a lot of benefit for solving Fleet Boss battle nodes with this huge spread of really cool traits that she has. But for now, she'll just kind of hang around and, you know, just take a shore leave with the rest of the crew. So what else can I show you here? So critical crons, so portal update, right? Still preparing for the portal update. One thing is that we just finished the critical crons event, and so some enterprising players, with the anticipation of a portal update in the near future, have chosen to save their quantum rewards. So quantum stops accumulating once you hit 1,000. As many of you know, if you don't have enough credits to actually do the on-time crew retrieval. But what you may not know is that in the event hub here, you can actually let your winnings stand. With the exception of weekend events, which the moment you click in, it automatically claims for you. Any of these objective events, you can actually let the winnings sit there, and you don't have to collect them right away. So I personally had immediate use. I leveled up some collections. So I got some immediate use, and I was able to use that quantum right away to good use. But I know a lot of players are actually letting it sit in here uncollected and they'll wait till the portal update happens and then pull their quantum out. And in the meantime, their quantum will still keep ticking up each day. So it's like you have I think it's like 1,500 quantum just sitting there waiting for you, so that when the portal update happens, you can get the fresh new crew instead of older crew. So a really great idea. You could do that with anything, especially with the Fleet Boss Battle event. You're going to get some extra Valor sitting around there, and if it would max you out and you don't need it right away, just let it sit uncollected in the event hub. It's always a great way to go. So what other notes do I have for you? So in the store, let's go look at the store.StarTrekTimelines.com here. And one thing that's new today is that we actually have a freebie. Not every week do we have a freebie, but this week we do. And so we'll take a look here in the giveaways section. Yeah, there it is. And down here you can get 100 free crons. Hey, it's not a lot, but it's honest crons, right? So go ahead and put in your DBID, grab that. And one final bit of note here, make sure that you have subscribed to the Star Trek Tilting Point channel. They're currently holding pretty fast at about 3,500 subscribers. I think we all get a dilithium bonus if they ever hit 5,000. They've kind of stopped advertising that, but that was the promise anyways. But tomorrow there's going to be another live stream where we get to meet the community manager, Nancy. And so, we'll see if they have any other announcements for us then. I'll assure you that we'll have some coverage of that, but, we'll have to wait until tomorrow to see exactly what they'll be talking about. So let's take a look ahead to next week's event. So we can always do, if we're ever looking for something to do in game, we can do a little preparation. So we have our skirmish event. We're all competing right now. That's kind of set in stone. We've already hopefully used chronometrics to get our farming plan done, and we've got a full skirmish all weekend long, so pick your time to tap those buttons. But next weekend with a faction event coming up, let's take a look and see what kind of preparation we can do. So this event here, we get a bonus for some crew that are more or less recent. There's an old Toral, but I think it's a green, so it won't be particularly useful. All the Vatics are recent. Vengeful crew also, some older ones, but only I think about 35 old crew got retconned to have that. So this looks like it's going to be a little bit of a tough event. You may want to make a little room in your roster to unfreeze any crew that gained Vengeful, that are purple or above, to help you out with a faction event. Because if you're just looking to staff it with crew that you have on hand, you're really just going to be focusing on Rikers, and some of them are particularly old and not very powerful. We do get our choice of Augment, Borg, and Klingon, so this may be an Augment win. Borg won recently as a faction event winner. Klingon perennially wins because it's usually the first choice. But Augments is a great shot because it's one of the few times if you keep Augments tanked, you won't have an opportunity to earn those 2-star science experiments, which are tough and you usually have to replicate. So here's a great opportunity. If we can run Augment events collectively as our faction of choice, then as you run those high victory point missions, you're going to be earning those science experiments, also the 2-star medical experiments too, which are a little bit more rare, all along. So good opportunity to stock up on those for free while you're playing the event, earning your thresholds and getting all the other stuff that you want to get, especially going for that big win on Ibudan, who I'm still really excited about. He's just, for my money, he's just a great character. I'll be flying some shuttles for him for sure. But the one other mystery too about this event here is right here, Bridge Riker kind of sitting in the background. He is, let's see if he's even in the game yet. Yeah, he's here. They made him. We just don't know where he comes from. So we could see everything about him. We know his collections, but it's a mystery as to where he appears. So he's going to be featured in next month's event, but he's not the prize. The prize for this event is going to be this morphing Vatic character, and she's certainly featured as well. She shows up here. Usually when we see the extra character, they're going to be one of the event rewards, but in this case it's Fenris Ranger 7 who's the event reward, not Bridge Riker. And then we'll take a look down the thresholds also. He's not a mega crew. We're not starting a new mega this week. He's not a new crew introduced at the 400,000 victory point level. They've done that in the past with a Ferengi called Krem, where they just kind of crammed him in there at the end there, and we got to earn our first copy, our only copy of him. So, it's a potential they could still update their thresholds, but in the meantime, we have no idea where this guy comes from. It's cool. Hey, Bridge Riker, that's great, right? But we really need to know how to earn him. So I hope to be able to follow up with you soon with a little bit. Since we know the stats, we could potentially do a review, but context is everything, and I can't really, in all good faith, give you a review of Bridge Riker without knowing how and where we get him and how much expense and effort it's going to take to actually earn up to a significant number of copies to be able to use him. But all the same, I'm gonna have my copies of Morphing Vatic, who's also a fantastic character. So it's a shoo-in for me to play in this faction event. I hope to see you there, playing alongside me. I mean, I don't, nothing pithy today. We're not doing any big world-shaking, strategy talk today. It's just kind of getting caught up on what was a real big week and looking forward to the next one. So I hope you enjoyed this more casual Captain's Log, and we'll talk to you again tomorrow with a little bit of news on the developer stream. But in the meantime, live long and prosper.